You know what? I really think that the time has come for us to speak about the Pope. We really need to speak about the Pope. You see, when Pope Leo the 14th was elected, an American Pope, we were all quite surprised. In fact, initially, positively surprised. I even posted a video of my Italian dad's reaction to the Pope being American. He was excited about it. He was like, wow, we got an American Pope. That's so cool. But then again, I have to say that when we were looking at this, I was a little concerned because I'm like, all right, it's an American Pope. What kind of politics does he have? Because for one hand, don't even think for 1 second that just because he's a religious leader, he's not going to get involved in politics. We have seen this with Pope Francis, who has made some statements that honestly I strongly resented, particularly when he was going into the route of universalism, which is not a Christian doctrine. Nobody cometh unto the Father but by me, being the Christian doctrine. With that being said, what about this Pope? Being American, I was actually interested to see if he was going to get involved not only in world politics or Italian politics or the politics of the Vatican, but specifically with American politics. And yes, he did. Yes, it did. And I have to say that after a few statements, I am very disappointed. I am strongly against this Pope now and his positions. And if you are a fervent Catholic, like the majority of my family is, it's fine to disagree with a Pope, by the way. And if you're going to call me heretic in the comments, like some of you do, you'll be blocked, because I don't want to deal with that kind of nonsense. We know that historically some popes have been fantastic and others have been horrible. Is the Pope the leader of the Roman Catholic Church? Yes. Is the Pope still a human being? Yes. So does that mean that the Pope can be wrong? Yes. And here we are. Let's see what the Pope says about migrants, shall we?
I was struck at the beginning, it talks about the feeling of powerlessness, which I think is so much based on, and I think it's so important that we as church give a message of hope in the midst of these horrible struggles, what's going on in so many cities in the United States right now. That it just, I mean, at least the church cannot be silent.
You've spoken very strongly, and you know, we're trying to do the same in our country, and yet not get into the political fray the best that we can.
I know, I mean, even within the conference, there are challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one place there should be. I wish there were stronger voice, even though, I mean, the president of the Congress to speak out, you know, there's been some good movement in that sense, but I certainly intend to continue to encourage.
Okay, so here he's in a new video. Pope Leo says American bishops need a stronger, more unified voice to defend migrants against Trump's deportation raids. And then Zach Asmongold comments and says, I would be okay with my tax dollars being spent on one-way trips for illegal aliens in the US to be sent to the Vatican. You know, this is an excellent comeback from Asmongold. And I want to give you a little bit of context onto this when it comes to numbers. Numbers. Because I don't think people understand the numbers. Here is a message shared by Rachel Wilson from The Crucible, and she's sharing this message by Pope Leo XIV. Of course, she's laughing at it because, no one should be forced to flee, nor exploited or mistreated because of their situation as foreigners or people in need. Human dignity must always come first. So there is a lot of beautiful words from the Pope. Here is the problem, though. Why isn't the Pope acting on it? He can house a lot of these illegal immigrants and migrants himself if he's so worried about them. I mean, think about it. The administration of the patrimony of the Apostolic See directly manages the rental of at least 2,400 apartments and 600 offices and shops in Italy. And this that I've just told you is a very conservative estimate. And in fact, according to Vatican disclosures, the church owns 4,051 properties total in Italy. And there are older archival historical estimates from, for example, 1977 that suggested that a quarter of the city of Rome belongs to the Catholic Church. So I find it very telling that the Pope tells us, Italian citizens, American citizens, to be nice and accept the illegals and the migrants, the illegals, not just the refugees. If this was about the refugees, it's different. I'm always in favor of helping refugees, still not waves of millions though, still within the constraints and resource allocation and budgets of the system that is designed to help said refugees, but not all migrants and all illegals. But in general, it's very telling because we need to be nice and accept, and yet he who has the actual power to do it, he has the properties to actually house these people, They don't do it. Why? Well, my guess, if I'm going to have to be 100% honest about this, is because those properties that I just mentioned brought in 99 million euros in 2019 alone. So, continuing. You might think that my critique towards the new Pope might be a little misplaced, because you might think, no, he's just saying to be nice as a Christian thing. But then again, he's not actually doing politics. He's not trying to push weird politics. And yet, I have something else to show you about that. Listen to this prayer.
Lord Jesus, you who in diversity are one and look lovingly at every person, help us to recognize ourselves.
You who in diversity are one? And I swear every single one of you gaslighters that is going to say, no, by diversity is not using a political buzz term to pander to the left. No, he's just saying that, the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. Shut up, gaslighter. You who in diversity are one. Unbelievable. You who in diversity are one. And you know why, even if you are one of the strongest supporters of all popes, doesn't matter what they say, you're like, no, Vicar of Christ, I don't care. He can say whatever he wants. All right. What about if you have no problems with what he actually said? Maybe it's just me. All right. Do you have a problem with what he didn't say? Because the Pope has been speaking a lot about migrants, yet he said nothing about all the Christians in Nigeria who have been, because of the Christian faith, in the tens of thousands. Not a word. So, do you have a problem with what he didn't say? So we need to think and care about the Muslims, migrants, but we shouldn't care about the Christians who are being. He didn't say anything about it as the leader of the Catholic Church. Seriously, he's gonna watch him. They're gonna change the Lord's Prayer, and they're gonna say, "Our Father who art in Harlem, hallowed be they them." That's what it's gonna go. That's what it's gonna go. It's a mockery. It is a mockery of the Christian religion, and to me, it's unacceptable. Again, I don't want the Pope. Just to make myself clear, I don't want the Pope to be a right-winger. I don't want the Pope to be a centrist. I don't want the Pope to be a lefty. I mean, this was quite clear. Church and state. Church and state. That's what I want. Division between church and state. Yet, not only he's getting very involved in the political space, but he has decided, as the leader of one of the most conservative religions in the world, he decided to side with the left. As they say, let that sink in. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.